Alright guys, so let's do this. The next thing that I want to talk about here is Angular model, right? The parent model. So go ahead and open your src folder and then open the app folder, right? And inside this folder you see we have gotten a couple of files here, but the one that I want you to focus on is app.model.ts, right? Check the naming convention here is app.model.ts. The ts here is nothing but TypeScript, right? So you can see inside here we have gotten a couple of line of code, but first let me give you a brief introduction of what model does before I explain what each and every one here does, right? So uh, you see, when we are actually developing any application and we have some database or anything, let's say we are developing a student management system, right? So we will create a student table and then arrange all the details, student details into that table, and we will create another table and then put all the teachers table, teachers details inside that table. So what do we actually do that is because we want uh everything to be organized, right? We want things to be organized instead of we messing things up and putting all the details in one column of inside the database. We group them into columns so that we can reference them easily. That's the basic concept of model 2. Model is nothing in Angular but what see it as a container for grouping pipes and component and other directive. I don't know, you don't know of this, but I will take them one by one and explain everything to you. So they are just container for grouping pipes, component and other directives which are what related in your application, right? Which may be related in your application. So let's say that you are developing an application to you have developed an application and you want to get all the details of all your members what inside the application. So within all your members you may decide to create a uh, yes a two models, right? You may decide to create two models, but with these two models uh, and then all the members that are in your database inside your application, you group them into categories, like you sort them out, and then all the members that are below 18 years you will group them what in one model, and all the members that are what above 18 years you will group them what in one model. Yes. And here see the members in Angular, see the members outsourced either component or directive or what or pipes, right? I'll talk of what each and every one here does. So that's actually what model does, right? It's just a container for grouping component and directives or pipes which are what related. We just do that so that our code will be what organized instead of we moving or actually instead of we putting everything at one place. When we organize our code into categories, it make it what nice, and also it give us it serve as a way to, it's an efficient when we were working with or whatever. All right, so don't mind me. Okay, so let me explain actually what each and every one. But in real world application, actually you won't be creating a lot of models, right? When I actually create a very high application, I actually don't create actually more than 10 models, right? I don't, no. For component, I do create a lot of component, right? Because component, if it's a big project, you may create maybe 100 of whatever component. Cause, but models, actually don't create a lot of it, right? So don't worry, we'll be seeing how things work out. We'll be creating a big project. I'll be doing a couple of stuff with you, so just stick with it. Alright, so let me explain what each and every one here does. So this app.model here is the parent model of your Angular application, and other code that other models that will be creating, there will be a child model of what, this parent, this model here. Okay, there will be a child model of this model here. So let me explain this code here. Let me take this first one, which is import browser model from Angular platform browser, right? This thing actually here is a class, right? It's a browser model class in an Angular. Now what you, let me give you the building blocks of Angular application, right? So in Angular, what we normally do is, Angular have forgotten a set of already defined libraries that uh, have been coded already, right? So what we will do is, we will import those libraries and what, just be using them. Okay, so maybe if you are a beginner, you may be asking me or be worried about what is libraries and what they does, right? Just take it like this. You know of API, right? Yeah. So take it as if like they are APIs which have been created by Angular. They are functions that has been created by Angular. So you just call the function name and then you just use it, right? If you are from object oriented background, you may see that some of the functions that or interfaces or functions, if they are class or interfaces that will be important, we may need to be providing our own body to it, right? Just don't worry, you will see everything around. It's really easy and Angular is not that difficult, right? So let me explain what this first this one here does, which is import browser model from Angular platform core, right? So see this thing here as the source of where we are importing this class from. This is the class that we are importing from this what file, this file right here, right? Okay, so what do this class do? This class do what they is do is that, you see, in Angular is a web for creating web applications, right? So before we can run it in the browser, this class is what, this model, this class is what give us the as capability to run our Angular application what, in a browser. That's why we call it browser model. Do nothing, it was created by Angular already. You just import it and it will give you the access to run an application. If you want to see it, just copy this line of code, get rid of it, and you will see that you won't be able to run your application inside the browser, right? You see, I've gotten rid of it and I've gotten errors here. Just open your browser and you see that you have gotten errors. It's reloading, the page is blank, right? Yes, the page is blank because the server is actually running, but it doesn't know which files to bootstrap into the browser, right? So before you can run your application in the browser, you need to actually import the what were let me go you need to import the browser model, right? The browser model, and then use it. Again, you don't have to import this yourself because when you create your project, Angular take care of all those tasks for you. Okay, yeah, so don't worry. So let me explain what this one to what it does. And this one too is engine model from Angular core. It's also a model that we are importing from what, Angular core. It's also either class or whatever. See it like a function that we are importing from Angular. So what does it do? You see, a model is just a class, right? So if a model is just a class, what made it and what, a model? How will Angular detect that is a model? We use this model right here and then append the act the creator to what, to the engine model here, and then we assign the properties of what, this model. So this thing right here is actually the properties of model. The what I mean your properties, it will be the component and the pipes or the services that we may put important. I will explain everything. Don't worry, right? I will explain everything. So see this model, I said that Angular models are just classes. So before they can be models, this class is what make our Angular application what, a model. So by adding the art class into this model, the ng model into this class actually here became what becomes what a model, right? Becomes a model. So that's it. And let me explain this on to you. This import app routing model from app routing model, we will talk about it right now. By you in the future, I'll be by introduction. I give you some overview of routing, right? Yeah. So what routing actually does it? You see, in Angular application, you may be wanting to navigate from one page to another, right? So let's say you've gotten a lot of command line document here, right? And you have gotten your header here. So in Angular, when you have this all this stuff here may be a different what component. This thing here in Angular applications, they are different what component. So when you click on this thing, instead of the whole page what being reloaded, the page here actually, this thing will stand either, the footer will be either, nothing will be loaded. But the only thing that will change here what is this the body tag will be replaced with what this component here, or from here to here will be replaced. When you click on this, will be replaced with this components, the detail, the content in this component, right? So see it at that. So how will Angular know that if I click on this, it should replace uh this guys here with the content of this component? That is done with the help of what routing. Yes, you see it in more details. Just understand it that this routing here is what gives us the ability to what provide navigation to different pages in our component in our application. Okay, all right. So let me talk about this thing, what it does, right? So in Angular, one main thing that you may be focusing on or may get it easy is actually component. I will talk about this thing, the component, in the next video, the next video or the next two videos, right? So um component to you need to import them so that Angular can bootstrap it into your application before you can actually what you can actually run it in your application. So we use import. What we do is we import the name of the component from the component file that we have been what it has been created, either our own custom component or the parent component. So this is the parent component of your application that has been created, and you can see it right here. And when you open it, you can see that we have the app component, and this is the class that we are importing. So come here and you see that this the class is app component, which is this, and the file that we are importing, which is app.component, is this file right here. When we are importing, we don't actually add a .ts. Angular take care of that what for us, because we are using a relative path, which is dot forest slash. What the dot forest slash actually means that it's a relative path, and what it does, it tells Angular that the dot actually means that start searching from the same folder. So within this same folder, you see you have gotten Angular model here. So what the dot actually means that it's telling Angular that start from here and then be searching from the same folder right here. Okay, so that's the job of the dot forest slash. What it does is it tells Angular that start searching from the same folder right here, and then um search for the name of this the file, the name of this file, right? And then import this class from it, which is this. So what we are actually doing here is that we are importing a component from this file here. Okay, so one thing you should know that component, once you have imported it, you cannot just actually use it. The fact that you have imported doesn't mean or it's working already in your application. You actually have to declare it. So in your Angular applications, we declare component in this array. This is the declaration selector, and this is the array that you'll be declaring our component in. So if you have gotten a couple of components, you just type comma and then you type the name of the other component. but now you don't have any component, so I'm gonna get rid of that. And then import this. I've explained this here, right? And this, what this thing does, right? So what I want to talk about is this import dot browser model dot app routing, right? So this import here, we actually use it to import models, other models, right? So you can see we have gotten the browser model that I just explained here. It has been what imported, right? Because models too, if once they are imported, you have to what the fact that they are imported here, you need to register, and the registration is done in this what import selector. And app routing is also a model. So see the all these things as what child model of this parent model, but this child model, they are not custom model that has been created, that you created yourself. It has been done by what Angular for you, so you are just importing and registering it and then making use of it. And this providers, so you have gotten the cut of this, right? So see the declaration part as where we register our component that we have been imported, and so you see this import as where we register our models and other pipes, right? Alright, so and this provider here, what it actually does, that I gave you an introduction of services. And service is nothing but when we want to make HTTP calls and get some data from other server-side application, right? So when we do that, we actually don't do that with components. So we do that with a service. So when we have actually gotten a service, we will import it, and when we import it, we will actually register the service what in these providers, right? I will explain of it and then talk about dependency injection and how the best way to go with service in Angular, right? Okay. And this bootstrap, what it actually does, that I've talked to you that Angular applications, they are made of what component, and we have gotten our parent component, and this parent component is what all the child component that you create will be what will be entailed, will be embedded in. So what this bootstrap actually does is that it bootstrap the parent application into your model, your parent model. And the meaning of bootstrap is just that prepare the parent model, or all the code in the parent model, or all the child components in the parent model, and what add them to the parent model, right? So that it can be run in the what in the browser. Okay, so it's nothing, just understand that all the bootstrapping actually means that prepare all uh, the child component, and then append it to the child component of what the parent component, and then run it run it okay run it. Alright, so that's the basic overview of Angular model, and in the next video I will show you how you can create your custom model and then make use of it, and you're actually talking about component and actually other couple of things. So thank you for watching, and let me know your thoughts if you have gotten any misunderstanding, or if there's something that you want to draw my attention of. So see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.